This week on the Jock and Nerd podcast, we break down what did and did not happen in the WandaVision finale. Plus, Natalie Portman's getting jacked for Thor, Love and Thunder. Zack Snyder's Justice League will be divided into 6 chapters, and we finally get a good look at Henry Cavill's Mustache Superman. All that and more in this edition of the Jock and Nerd Weekly for Monday, March 8th, 2021.
You know who this is, and you know why you're here. You want all the latest comic book and superhero TV and movie news, and by God, you found it. Forget everything else out there. Forget all the Scientology bullshit. This is the real deal. This is the real deal. Worship at the feet of the holy trio of geekdom. The Jock and Nerd podcast. Play it.
Check. Check 1. All right. This is for all you fans out there. Let's give it up.
Jock it, be nerded. We funny, disturb it. We jock it, be nerded. We spoiler alert. Oh yeah!
What's up, listener? How's it going? Welcome to the Jock and Nerd podcast, where we give you comic book and superhero TV and movie news reviews and whatever we choose. Jock and Nerd. My name is Imran.
My name's Anthony.
He's the Jock.
He's a nerd.
And joining us, you already got me doing the listen, joining us as always, the internet's most valuable non-fungible token. It's Rug Boy. What's up, Rugs?
Yeah, I'm crypto corrupt right now.
I thought you were always fungible. That's what I thought about you.
I'm a fungible guy. A fungible sounds like an edible fucking like mushroom or something.
Oh, yeah, there's spores. There's some fun spores you can ingest. Anthony, do you know, have you seen this hashtag NFT, non-fungible token? Have you heard about this?
Nope.
Holy shit, dude. It's wild and crazy. And basically, geeks and nerds have figured out how to take Bitcoin, blockchain, encrypted currency, and attach it to digital media.
Oh, yes. I know. I didn't know the name of it. Yeah.
There are teenagers out there selling JPEGs of a cartoon cat for thousands of dollars.
Oh, shit.
Why can't I cash in on this? How did I miss this?
You can.
I remember that.
You can
I
do
remember
it.
hearing about that.
Dude, it's crazy. And I was like, what is going on? There's basketball trading clips of basketball players.
There's music. Like
There's
artists
music,
are putting
yeah.
like 21,000 unique codes of their music.
Yeah, I can't really figure out what the fuck this is because it doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, I understand the music thing.
Yeah.
Like, you sell someone your music and then they can only buy that one thing and whatever, and you can't copy it or whatever. But how do you do that with a piece of art? Like
With a JPEG. With a
anybody
video
can
file.
You can literally take a screenshot on your phone and then now you have it.
So I saw
You
Kings of Leon announced that they're going to make the first NFT album, which, like you said, it makes a lot of sense. And we've long talked about how digital media really is so easy to steal. There's no way to lock it down. You draw something, you put it out there, someone uses it, they make money off of it. This may be a way to kind of lock that down. And I don't know, the podcast could be NFT.
I think it's interesting. I think, we trade everything else.
Yeah.
We trade stocks, we trade shoes, we trade baseball cards, we trade everything. I think it's an interesting idea for sure. I mean, they're trading things that are limited quantity, and they're just going, okay, what's the supply and demand on this?
Well, do we trade anything digital yet? We're already trading digital.
How do you limit a quantity of a GIF? Like,
of
it's just everywhere.
digital data, right? That can be easily copied and distributed.
Yeah, I don't know the specifics on
It's weird.
the art like that, but
Yeah.
I've heard about the songs, the music.
Well, they did that with DRM, right? They did that. This has been done before with digital rights management.
Right.
So it's kind of like a nerdier version of it.
Yeah, it's a more encrypted blockchainier version. Anyways, it's the future, kids. Get on board.
Well, okay, so I'm just reading.
Yeah.
For the digital art, you have to provide proof of authenticity.
Okay, makes sense.
But I don't know how they.
Well, there's all sorts of metadata embedded in JPEGs, in photos, and videos. So there's some way to encrypt. If you can encrypt metadata tagging in, I don't know. It's wild.
Maybe they have people like overseeing it, so that like, let's say you try to trade something that isn't the art, and like someone can inspect it and be like, oh, it's missing that. This transaction's null and void.
Well, I think that's where the blockchain part of this would come in. Is the registry is all across the internet, so it's anybody can check it. It's transparent. In other words,
right.
So you have to have this. It's wild.
Pretty soon we're going to be paying each other in gifts.
I'm not sure. Yes, I'm gonna try. How many gifts would Rug Boy be worth? We need to sell Rug Boy's a JPEG of Rug Boy for thousands of.
That's a 16th of a gift.
NFT. Well, just a bit. Let me just get a fraction. I got 0.01 NFT gifts for this Rug Boy.
Imran's 1/37th of like a gif of white piece of paper.
Fractions and decimals. I'm done. Anyways, let's get.
Everyone just tuned out.
Let's get this up.
No one knows anything about this.
What
shit.
are we talking about? Fuck off.
The Jock and Nerd Podcast.
Exactly.
Here's what we're talking about. We talked about in the past, we talked about Chris Hemsworth getting jacked for the Hogan movie and for Thor 4 and how huge his fucking arms are. Well, we know in Thor Love and Thunder, Natalie Portman's going to be in there. She's going to be Thor. To be Thor, you got to get jacked. And apparently now, from new set photos from Australia, Natalie Portman is fucking bulking up a little bit.
Oh, shit.
Reactions, Anthony, to the set photo of her she kind of looks like she has Gina Carano arms here.
I mean, it's clear she put on some weight.
It's impressive.
She's also kind of like the way she's holding her arms and like she's kind of flexing her back.
She
out.
is. Yeah.
So she's like as if like she's doing like the Christmas tree back pose.
It'll make you look bigger though, right?
Yeah, it makes you look wider than you really are. So I mean, she definitely put on some weight, but it's like one photo of her kind of
flexing
posing
almost,
at her most like widest. So we'll see how she looks on set.
Yeah, she's definitely flexing it up, but the fact that she's even doing that for the photo is funny.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, she definitely put on probably, I'd say at least 10, 15 pounds.
She is
Yeah, I'd
lifting
say
weights.
about-
She has been picking up heavy things.
She's
and
been
putting them
working with a
down.
mace, you think?
A mace, a kettlebell.
Mjolnir?
Listen, Mjolnir is actually a lot like my 15-pound mace from onit.com. Join on. They're not a sponsor. That's that's a lot like wielding Mjolnir, so swinging that thing around.
You think she's been using the shake weight?
There may be some shake weight usage. I see maybe some of the
one that what's that character's name in Ragnarok?
Was that Carl Urban's character had it?
What was his name?
Oh, I can't fucking remember.
It's like I got this one from Texas.
It's shake weighting. Some of the forearm definition may have to do with the shake weight. I mean, good for her for putting in the work and
The
getting
Executioner.
the executioner. That's right. Did he die? He died too, or he was with Hela
Yeah, I think he sacrificed
and then ran off or something.
No, he helped out at the end.
There's another photo of her not flexing. It's like same position, and she's just she's got her arms out doing a little curtsy, but you still see her shoulders are bigger. And there's photos of Tessa Thompson. And I love the shot of Hemsworth in this 80s vest jacket deal that we know from the 80s comics version of Thor, right?
He had a vest in the comics?
Yeah, there was one like during the 80s. He had like a mullet and he had this vest. Remember that? Where there's like the sleeves were ripped off.
That was me. I had a mullet in a vest. But
Maybe I'm thinking about Rug Boy in high
Me
school.
right now, actually.
How are you working on that business mullet, Anthony? How's it going?
I have a mullet for sure.
You do, right?
now.
I know you were growing it. Oh my God.
Oh, shit.
It's good. It's good. What's the length? What's the centimeters? Do you know?
Centimeters? What are we in fucking Germany?
What are we
here?
in Europe?
Centimeters.
Imran wants to
English?
get metric, okay?
All right, give me the inches then.
I don't know. It's halfway down my neck. How about that?
It's 2 inches from the ground up. That's my dick. Oh.
Listener, tell us how long you think Anthony's mullet is. Join our Facebook group. It's called Jock and Nerd Nation. You'll be a part of the nation, part of the fans, the listeners. All of us are in there. We hang out. It's interactive. You post stuff. You get your name on the show. Let me know how long do you think Anthony's mullet is. We're taking bets. Welcome this week, new members Anthony Busby and Nate Casimiro, who was on the show last week from Nat One Presents. He
Oh, shit.
he joined the group. He joined our Patreon. He is very helpful, very nice guy. Had a great time having him on the show. Check out Nat One Presents. So WandaVision is done. We're going to get Loki and Winter Soldier, and then we're going to get Black Widow, which still seems to be aiming for a May 7th theatrical release. But there's some interesting things. Deadline has shared an update explaining that even if Los Angeles has fully reopened by then, Disney is going to need the rest of the world to be up and running as well in order to come anywhere near close to making $1 billion
Oh shit.
on the Black Widow.
It won't. Why are they even trying to even say they're going to get $1 billion? They should be shooting for like 200 million, and that's good.
Yeah, we need to reset these numbers. This is
It's ridiculous.
This is all a reset. But exhibitors are having doubts, as they said. They noticed something interesting. Raya just came out, Raya and the Last Dragon, and they said there weren't any trailers for Black Widow with Raya, which is weird. You'd think they would promote it 2 months out. So could we still see a Disney Plus Premiere Access debut?
When is Black Widow coming out?
May 7th.
That's a while away. Well, Raya came out and didn't do that well. So, yeah. So, I don't know. By then, I think that more things will be open. More people will have the vaccine. I think that they'll make money, but not in the billions. Come on.
You're not going to make $1 billion at a movie for a while.
I think they should let it come out on the theaters in May. Let's see what happens, because New York's open finally. The
At
theaters,
25%, right?
Which is
yeah.
Well, listen,
That's huge.
They're making no money now. They're going to make some. You know, like I think Tom and Jerry made like 13 million or something when it came out the first weekend, and I don't know.
Tom and Jerry did the best that a movie's done in the pandemic so far. But Anthony, should they just? It seems like they want to be like, we're going to make all the money, or we're just going to push it back, and because we're not going to make all the money.
I think they are. I mean, they're definitely holding out hope for the theaters. They want to make as much money as possible. Disney Plus. I think Disney Plus is still an option for them. I think it really comes down to the fact that I don't know. They might push it back a little, but they have this kind of timeline with the movies and the TV shows in lockstep almost now. So I'm curious to see how much they're willing to get away from that with the movies, because if they move away from that with the movies, it might throw off some of their stuff that they have coming out on Disney Plus. And I'm not sure they want to push any of that stuff back either. So
that's a logistical nightmare.
I think eventually, my guess is, I don't think by May 7th we're going to be fully open. I think we're going to be closer. But if you're going even just by like what our president says, where vaccines will be available to everybody that wants one by the end of May.
Or May.
Well, no, he said by the end of May.
Okay.
So that kind of puts this one in limbo. I think this is going to end up on Disney Plus.
And they're going to make more money that way.
You think so? Then yeah,
because $30 that they get.
Yeah.
Remember, when they do the things at the theater, they only get a portion of those proceeds.
They get all the $30.
The only thing is they need everyone that's going to buy it on Disney Plus.
Right. But I mean, if they don't, like, even if they don't get everyone, like, put it this way, if they put it out in May in the theaters and nobody can go, right, because it's still bad out, they're not going to make a lot of money anyway. This way, they're at least going to guarantee to make some money. I don't know how much. This is going to make more than Mulan. I'll tell you that.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
I think this will do really. If they do Disney Plus, I think they've already kind of created appointment television on Disney Plus with their stuff.
Yep.
So as long as the Falcon and Winter Soldier is also good, I think they've got a lot of people bought in to what they're doing.
Absolutely. And I don't think, like you said, I don't think they have room to move this around anymore. We talked about, I think last week, how it beautifully every week this year, Marvel has something new planned. And we know Black Widow is going to connect to Hawkeye because Florence Pugh is going to be in Hawkeye also. So that this has to follow this set pattern. So just do the premiere access. I bet they're going to wait till the last minute and say it is also on Disney Plus Premiere Access. They don't want to.
Well, the only thing that's curious is if we know Black Widow's coming out in May.
Yeah. Is anybody else?
But they haven't really done any marketing.
No.
Does anyone know that Black Widow?
Are they afraid of just putting this hard date on the thing?
So when you say last minute, I don't think that works
that's
to
a good
their
point.
advantage.
Yeah, they haven't really been marketing this movie at all, have they?
But look at Godzilla versus King Kong. They just started it 2 months ago, and now it's, everybody knows about it.
Well, they're putting out posters and they're putting out little clips. There's TV spots.
They got till May. Or the end of March or end of April.
Yeah. No, I think you're right, Ruggs. Is this marketing window is very short now because people have short attention spans. They're like, just wait 3 weeks before and flood it. with everything, which we see everywhere.
When you had people going to the theater on a regular basis, you could tease longer away, right? Because you got that whole like microcosm of going to the theater and seeing the trailers and kind of them brainwashing you with the trailer over and over again. But now you don't have anyone doing that, so they just got to hit it and quit it, like really quickly. Just fucking just hit you with a deluge of ads, like, and then hopefully you'll remember to click it when time comes.
I'm seeing an article where if it's delayed again, and this is from Deadline Hollywood, then the film distribution industry believes Disney would move it to July 9th, 2021, which is the release date for Shang-Chi.
Oh shit! Then everything gets fucking shuffled.
Yeah,
they're all gonna move to the next date that the movies have.
Maybe
May, June, July, May. Fuck, I can. And you know what? This is actually a tough call because I bet they can rationalize that July may be way better if, according to the administration and Fauci, and maybe we do pull. Oh fuck, dude. Maybe they don't put it out on May 7th.
Well, here, so just so we can, so they were doing May 7th for that. We're looking at movies here. Then Shang-Chi was July, like I mentioned. Eternals is November 5th.
Right.
Spider-Man No Way Home, December 17th.
Yeah.
Then in 2022, the next movie is Thor Love and Thunder, May 6th.
On May.
So what they potentially, if they move it back, they could potentially do the July release for Black Widow, move everything back, and then push Spider-Man back
to January.
In between that December and May, where they have Thor Love and Thunder.
Oh my right? God. But then
do like a February
but then
or like
doesn't
in March.
that mess up the Disney Plus shows?
Yeah, I don't know how it interacts
Ah.
with Disney Plus.
Wow. Okay, so I guess I appreciate how tough of a situation this is for Marvel and Disney, and
They're gonna be fine.
they're not going to make $1 billion, but they will make a lot of money regardless of what happens. But Rugg, speaking of people going back to the theaters, the box office had the biggest weekend since the pandemic has shut down theaters.
Oh, shit.
For the weekend of March 5th through 7th that just happened, $25 million box office revenue. Like you said, with cinemas in New York City now allowed to open at 25% capacity. For comparison, March 6th through 8 weekend in 2020, movie sales domestic $101 million right before everything shut down. So there's a long way to go, but it's a quarter of the way there. I think that's some good news.
Well, yeah, it's promising. Like every week that passes, things are opening up, and hopefully, if they don't shut right back down again, I think that we're in good shape to open some movies.
The only thing is, like, not to be Mr. Science guy.
Yeah.
We're kind of, from everything I'm reading, we're plateaued and we're on the threshold for another.
Oh, no, another bump
surge.
up. Oh, shit.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Lame.
But we'll see what happens.
Well, I think a lot of it's incumbent on the weather as well. If it warms up and things can go outside, then we have kind of that as an advantage, I guess.
Well, I heard about the Cubs and White Sox for baseball opening day this season.
A lot of baseball. A lot of teams will be doing limited capacity.
Limited, 25% capacity, people in the stands. So we'll see a lot of normal things happening this spring. So Zack Snyder's Justice League, the 4-hour epic, 2 weeks away at this point on the HBO Max. But man, does he love to release little things every day, all the time. Have you guys seen any of he's put out character teaser trailers for everybody just constantly.
Oh, I haven't seen those. I've only seen the titles.
So we'll talk about the titles, but I've watched some of the Flash and the Batman one, and they're just really short. They show you some new clips, but I'm like, just show me the movie. Like, what is this? Like every day he's putting out a little thing. I get it. You're trying to hype people up. But like Nate had mentioned last week, Justice League will be divided into 6 chapters. So I'm anticipating little chapter markers where you can pause and resume. Let's see if we can figure out maybe what these titles mean. What part will be what? Part 1 is Don't Count on It, Batman. So that one's easy, I think. That will be the Batman story. Part 2, The Age of Heroes. What do you think this could be?
The Age of Heroes?
Yeah, like the beginning, the setup.
Maybe the retelling of when the heroes united and beat Darkseid the first time?
Yeah, with the Amazons and
Yeah,
everybody.
that sounds like. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. But yeah,
Part 3 is beloved mother, beloved son. Of course, a lot of mother and son metaphors in all of these characters. Really, this could be about anybody.
Martha and Son. Yes, I like.
So maybe this is Superman's resurrection.
Yeah, maybe that.
Part 4, Change Machine. I believe this is the part where Cyborg is at an arcade and someone tries to shove quarters in his slot
Oh, God. Here we go.
by accident. Can I get
guy.
some quarters? You guys, can I get quarters? I'm just looking for quarters.
We're talking about Mortal Kombat again.
Yeah, I got my quarters up next. No, Change Machine. I think it's the Cyborg part, right?
No, it's the mother box.
Oh, it's the mother
dick.
box that changes things.
Yeah, I don't think they're dedicating a whole chapter to Cyborg,
I mean-
unfortunately.
They should.
He's loosely tied in there, but like it's not all about him.
But he's tied to the mother box, right? Part 5, All the King's Horses, a reference to Humpty Dumpty before he falls and breaks. What's this about?
So I think that's probably the point where it looks really bleak.
I think it's
yes.
the resurrection of Superman. They put Humpty together again. You know?
Oh, there you
maybe
go.
that's it,
Yeah. And then part 6, Save Martha. Just kidding. That's what this is. Part 6 is called Something Darker, which hopefully is the big showdown with everyone.
It's Darkseid.
Yeah.
Maybe Darkseid or maybe Superman in the black suit.
No,
All of that. There's so in a lot of those teaser clips you see, there's a shot of Superman pulling Batman up and he's in the black suit, and so he's evil at one point, but then he's also good in the black suit. I don't know. Do these titles do anything for you guys?
Floppy No. Jock.
Geek boner.
Nothing.
Yeah, God. Unfortunately, I'm good. I'm good on the titles.
I appreciate maybe a way to break it up for viewing. That's nice. That's nice of him to share. Something else that posted today, this is kind of hilarious. Apparently, the Justice League Snyder cut leaked early today by accident when some people tried to watch Tom and Jerry and instead got Zack Snyder's Justice League.
This is going great.
Imagine you're a little kid and you put on Tom and Jerry and all of a sudden you see some Zack Snyder shit.
He's like, what is
Like
this?
fucking slow-mo, like
I want to see.
buildings getting exploded.
You just see Darkseid and you just
Mommy, what's going
you
on?
pee your pants. So a few unlucky people got to see the Snyder cut early, 10 days. It's funny.
Yeah.
Glitches happen. Yeah, that Tom and Jerry made a lot of money, and I heard it's not good at
terrible.
all. I heard it's really bad, and it's free on HBO Max, and I have no desire
Sucks.
to
Yeah.
even check it out.
Cartoon interacting with a
Yeah,
live movie.
but it doesn't look like they integrated it well.
Well,
from
Imran,
the thing.
I feel like Imran would automatically like it because there's an Indian person in it.
Oh, there we go. Points. I'll give it 2 out of 10
Like,
points.
Imran always points out, "Oh my God, there's a person in there."
There's a brown person in this hall. Allahu Akbar.
It's about
everyone. Mashallah.
it's who's the name of that guy who does the news on the
Colin
Saturday Night Live?
Jost?
Yeah, he's marrying an Indian woman and he's trying to overcompensate by having like the most outlandish wedding with elephants and shit. And elephants don't like mice, so
Colin Jost.
hilarity ensues.
First of all, Colin Jost married to Scarlett Johansson, right?
Geek boner.
Yeah,
I don't know how he pulled that. First of all,
How you pulled that?
how he pulled that, I don't know. Second of all, I fucking love Tom and Jerry, and I don't need any of this new bullshit. I will stick with my Tom and Jerry shorts from the 30s and the 40s that won Oscars that they used to play before movies. They are fantastic. I learned everything I know about classical music from cartoons.
That's right.
I
I just want to see if I can make Imran make that laugh.
Is this the game now? Drink. Oh, boy, it's the new drinking game. Listen, if you really want to hear me do that laugh more, visit our shop on TeePublic. Visit jockandnerd.com/shop. Buy some swag. Buy some T-shirts. Buy our new logo. There is a sale this week, March 10th to March 13th. And then on Pi Day, 3/14, March 14th, there's also a bonus sale where classic T-shirts are $13, crew necks $30, mugs are $11, masks as low as $8, everything else 35% off up to. So celebrate Pi Day by eating some pie, doing some math, and buying Jock and Nerd something or other. Last thing, we can't forget about the original Justice League and the destiny of one Henry Cavill's mustache, as none of that mustache footage, is going to be used in this cut, which is the stuff Joss Whedon used, and it's all floaty. However, I've been waiting for this for 3 years. Finally leaked photos here, fellas, of Superman with a porn star mustache. Oh, and you know what? I'd fucking dig it. Why can't we have this Superman? Look at these photos. This is amazing.
It's like Freddie Mercury Superman.
Yes, it's Freddie. He looks like a rock star, Freddie.
Tom Selleck out there.
Oh, my God. And he's so dashing and handsome. Like, I think this works. I wouldn't have questioned it one bit. I'd have just been like, oh, Clark wants to wear a mustache. Sure. Why not? He looks great. Right?
Yeah.
I can't believe we finally got these photos. Like, this is what they had to brush over. Must have been such a pain in the ass. I'm sure the digital artist is just cursing every follicle.
I mean, you really do see the Henry Cavill Mission Impossible.
It's the same
look.
character. Yes, I mean
that's what I think of when I see this.
But and again, some of these he has like kind of like a 5 o'clock mustache. Like if they just filled it in, that would have been fine too. That probably would have been easier than trying to remove it. And
bearded Superman, I think.
Yeah, and now I'm staring at a floaty, swollen upper lip. What the fuck is this?
The fuck?
Anyways,
I'm just glad that's not going to be a thing in the new one.
Yes, we're going to get to see clean-shaven Henry Cavill.
That's right.
Every girl's dream.
Sure.
Well, let's take a quick break here. Listener, play some promos and come back and geek out about the finale of fucking WandaVision right after this.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Hey, Katie here from How Do I Jump? We are an independent news, media, and entertainment outlet dedicated to bringing you all that's hot and fresh in the video game world, with a definite focus on indie games. Our podcast, The Weekly Jump, rounds up all those gaming headlines and stories into a fun and entertaining hour for your informative enjoyment. Find us on Spreaker, Apple and Google Podcasts, Spotify, and more. For ad-free podcasts and bonus content, head to patreon.com/howdoijump. To learn more, visit howdoijump.com.
Check out what's been going on with the Pop Culture Cosmos Show and the PCC Multiverse.
I see the potential for basically like another Netflix kind of paradigm shift where here comes this other major player. They have a ton of resources. Apple could change the way that entertainment is consumed.
They say it's the only time this year that you'll have stars from each brand battling each other, and we know it's not going to be the case, but they like to say that, and more power to them, I guess.
Well, it's a big first step, bringing all those superheroes together. There were definitely some parts of the movie that I really enjoyed, and then there were some parts that I thought just kind of fell short of expectation.
Part of it has to be something to do with how it's being promoted, and this is a thing where audiences do not agree with critics.
That's the Pop Culture Cosmos Show.
And the PCC Multiverse, every week on Apple Podcasts.
And over a dozen of your favorite streaming and podcasting options.
And nerd.
Listener, if you have been enjoying the show and we make you chuckle on a regular basis, consider showing your support and your love. Join our awesome fan club. Visit jockandnerd.com/Patreon. Jock and Nerd. And for as little as $3 a month, you can support the show, get swag and stickers and bonus content. You get access to an exclusive RSS feed where the shows come out early. And boy, are we putting up tons of bonus content every week. It's lots of fun. This week, I had my WandaVision instant recap reaction to the finale. I love doing those. Anthony, you guys did a Jock talk?
Their bottom is very weak.
Did a Jock talk, yeah. And then did a couple movies. One, I Carry You With Me, which no one's seen. It was only released in festival season.
Oh, that's a very small, indie, obscure fucking movie there.
Yeah, and then I did the Mauritanian, which was with Jodie Foster and Tahar Rahim and Shailene Woodley.
That one looks interesting. I want to check
and Benedict Cumberbatch.
Oh, the Cumberbatch is in the Mauritanian too?
Yeah. He's playing a Southern guy.
Oh, wow.
Oh, nice.
A heavy Southern accent.
Convincing? Was it good? His accent?
I mean, it's just so weird. It's Benedict Cumberbatch with a Southern accent.
That one looks like something I would dig. So
it's good.
I want to make note of one thing about our Patreon. David Zika posted to the Facebook group this comment. He said, I just downloaded the Patreon app for the first time and found out you can download the Patreon exclusive episodes and play from the app or just play without downloading, which makes it more convenient than trying to stream through a phone browser if you're on the go. I don't think I've ever heard any Patreon provider actually spell that out as a feature of being a supporter. And, well, yeah, it's true.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
So they have an app. And the reason I never mentioned the app, because from the creator point of view, if you are a creator and you log into the app, it's very confusing and it's really not the best designed thing and it's hard to use. But I didn't even think about the other end where we have 500 exclusive bonus clips of audio that now, if you sign up, you download the app and they're right there to play. You can download them.
What about the RSS feed?
And that's the other way. When you sign up, you will get emailed an RSS feed. Simply click on that or copy that link. A lot of phones, if you click on it, it'll know exactly what to do with it. It'll say you want to open it. Which podcast app do you want to open this in? Or you just open a podcast app, say add manually, and it'll paste it right in. That's also very simple, and that keeps the feed in with your other podcasts, so you don't have to. But if you want to go to the Patreon app and just scroll and listen, that is always there. Yes, David Zika, thank you very much, Jock and Nerd, for bringing that up. Does that make sense, guys? Was anybody confused?
Sure.
I got it.
Great.
Now, I want to take 1 second to try and tease something, Imran.
Okay, do it.
Now, listen, guys, we're thinking about doing something special with the Patreon, something for the fans. We don't know exactly when it's going to lift off, but we just want to throw it out there for you and just let you know that we're working on it. We'll get you the deets as soon as we get to know exactly when we're going to launch it. But we're doing a Discord. We want to do a Discord with our Patreon people, private kind of like hangout with all three of us, and it'll be something once a month at least. So we're thinking of it anyway. So let me know what you think of that. And then we could kind of get some feedback from you guys, and is there any interest or anything like that? So let us know.
Absolutely. I definitely want to hear what you guys think. It's going to be special. It's going to be interactive. It's going to be a lot of fun. So sign up to the Patreon today, jockandnerd.com/Patreon. Okay, let's get into WandaVision episode 9. This is the last one, maybe ever. Here is your spoiler alerts.
Strap yourselves in, you fucks. Spoiler time.
This episode titled The Series Finale, meaning this is a one-and-done limited series, possibly, because you have season finales and you have series finales, yeah? Them saying series finale makes me think no more season 2. And the runtime, the longest episode yet at about 50 minutes, but then it's really like 42 minutes, maybe, of actual content. So good runtime. What happened in this episode, Anthony? Do you want to give a kind of a plot synopsis, or should we just dive in?
I can give a quick plot synopsis. So it's basically, if you've been following, it all comes down to this. Agatha has her kids, is trying to bait Wanda into basically giving up her powers. You also have the White Vision coming in to destroy Vision and Wanda. You have Hayward and his team controlling the White Vision and trying to also get in and save the town, kind of. And you have Wanda trying to defend herself and her family and figure out what her true power is.
Accepting her destiny, doing the right thing. You get more reveals. We get mostly closure. We get an emotional goodbye. And, of course, as Marvel does, set up for the future. Here's what didn't happen. None of the fucking fan theories. Everybody was speculating. Oh, what happened here, fellas? Did the internet just overblow this thing? We went way too far with these theories, and some people are mad disappointed.
Well, I think that it's really fucking hilarious.
I think it's hilarious, absolutely,
because a lot of the same assholes who spun all these theories on all of their like highfalutin like nerd websites.
Yeah.
Like, the Nerdist and all this other stuff, fucking Screen Junkies. They all fucking did it. They all used it for clicks. Then now they're all like sanctimoniously being like, oh, you guys shouldn't have expected all that stuff. So it's like, all right, fine. Like the fans like talking amongst themselves is one thing, but you guys also did it. And not only that, but Marvel did not refute any of it either.
No, they didn't.
They let it happen. So
because it was great fucking PR and buzz for the show.
So I mean, it's kind of douchey for them. This is all I'm saying. It's like not whether that you can theorize or not and expect your theories to come true, because you shouldn't. But the fact that these assholes used it and then tried to be like holier than thou. Oh, you guys are just out of control and theorizing too much. But they're the ones that were using it to get clicks. So I think it's kind of fucked up.
There's I mentioned a couple of weeks ago how the weekly format was great for building, conversation and all these theories and buzz.
There's a drawback, though, isn't there?
This is kind of the drawback in that, people had all this time to figure out these theories or try to figure out what happened because of, the week-to-week release. And there's a lot of, pride in that, if you get it wrong, well, it must have been bad. I'm you're looking for confirmation bias.
Right.
And then once you find out that your theory was wrong, it's like, well, my theory was so good that it's better than what would have happened.
Exactly.
So,
yes.
Fuck you for this sucks. Right?
Everyone gets psyched about.
Just real quick, I just think Marvel they did play into it, right?
A little bit, yes.
Because the we'll get into it, but the Pietro reveal was an epic just troll job.
And
they
then
just trolled everybody.
There was Bettany's words were a fucking troll job.
Right, and Bettany was fucking with people, and Elizabeth Olsen was fucking with people. So they played into it a little bit, but at the end of the day, Marvel told the story they wanted to tell, and I think this is there's a lot of entitlement amongst fans and writers, almost deservedly so. I mean, they got Justice League Snyder Cut made.
Yeah.
Fans are dictating what's getting made and how people should be doing things. And I personally just enjoyed people getting mad about this stuff.
I thought it was hilarious. It's a tricky balance. And I don't understand why people are mad, because I speculated. I got into the same things. I had fun talking about the same shit, but I knew that they didn't promise us any of this. I'm not upset that
but the thing
they
is,
never promised any of this.
You're getting all this stuff from legitimate things. The people who made this whole thing about the epic cameo at the end, they took Elizabeth Olsen's words and just put out this false narrative.
She did. Yeah.
So it's
she was asked a question too. It wasn't like she came out with that.
So they're also culpable in this. They're it's not the fans just went and with Star Wars, they were just going off on theory. They weren't, they weren't being confirmed by anything. So all of these so-called, nerd news, we're fanning the flames.
Yep.
And so I think that, yes, the people who are mad that their theories didn't come true, they should be all right, whatever. But I know why the reason why they feel so fucked up is because they thought all of these news sources were confirming this stuff and acting like it was a real thing.
There are a bunch of red herrings in the show. We'll discuss they didn't pick up. But real quick, here's what didn't happen. No new major MCU character. No big Luke Skywalker cameo.
Wait,
Photon.
But you back up. Photon.
Okay.
Premiered.
Okay. Yeah, but all right. Did she premiere? It's kind of a soft kind of Monica's Got Powers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, she premiered. This is the first time we've ever seen her.
Okay, but there was no Luke Skywalker cameo. There was no...
okay, wait. Back up on the Luke Skywalker thing, too. Just real quick. I know you want to read these, but the Luke Skywalker thing, it was Pietro. That was the Luke
that's what
Skywalker
she
thing.
Meant? Okay.
And she was asked a question.
Okay.
It was something along the lines of, well, the Mandalorian had a big reveal where Luke Skywalker showed up. Is there anything that's going to be like that in WandaVision? And she just said, yeah, sure. Yeah.
Oh, and then they wrote that...
And people ran with it.
She says
Someone posed a question in a way that if she didn't answer it, she had a no-win situation there.
At that point, I think if I was Disney, I would put out some kind of thing or whatever to kind of temper that back. Because by setting expectations high or letting that expectation exist, you're going to deal with, it doesn't matter. Even if they're right, if they're right and the people who watch it have no right to theorize, they still did it. They still had expectations, and they still feel disappointed. Even if you tell them that they shouldn't, they still feel it. So at that point, it's an emotional thing, and you can't tell people not to feel a certain way. They're just going to.
Yeah.
So it's irresponsible, because look at what happened with The Mandalorian. The Mandalorian got this visceral reaction.
Absolutely.
Right. And a lot of people say it saved the Star Wars franchise, renewed interest in it and everything. So when you say something to that level, it's like the ending of Mandalorian, like people got excited about that, and they wanted that excitement. But to be honest with you, like I wasn't that excited about WandaVision, like at all. Like it was because I was just like, even when they announced it, I was like, I'm not really into seeing a girl date a robot. Like I don't think that's interesting. It was interesting in the comics, like they did a couple of new ones a few years ago that were kind of funny and interesting, but like it's not something that I would tune into. But the fact that it sounded like they were going to use it as a springboard to Doctor Strange, that's what kind of got me interested in it, because they were spinning that. That was the yarn that they were spinning, that it was tied in and all that stuff. So
we got a light set up to that. So
yeah, so maybe it is, maybe it isn't, but at the same time, it's not just the fans. Like the fans are to blame, and the fans are responsible for their theorizing and wanting their theories to be true and wanting to be validated, like Anthony said.
Yeah.
And that is kind of like a babyish thing to want. But at the same time, it wasn't just fans. It was people in the industry that were using it, and Marvel was using it. These papers or these sites were using it and to get clicks. So I think there's a lot of blame to go around for this kind of there's a little bit of a backlash going on.
Well, look, they used it. They got the clicks. That's what it comes down to. They ended up getting the clicks. More things that I thought would happen didn't happen. There was no big bad beyond Agatha, no Mephisto. I thought there would be somebody more after, whatever. No mutants entering the MCU, no real multiverse tearing, and no Doctor Strange cameo, which whatever. That's fine. Let's get into what happens. What we find out, where we're left off. What did you think of?
Did we want to start with our opening thoughts?
Yeah, opening thoughts, Anthony. Final chapter. What do you got?
I wrote this down.
Oh, you did? Look at you, all prepared.
Sometimes I write things down. Sometimes I have like good thoughts that I like.
Bro,
I'm like,
do you
I'll
even
remember it during the
podcast?
show.
He does.
I'll remember it during the show, and then I blank out. And
This is why our notes, the notes I make are so long, because I'm not going to remember any of this bullshit. I got to write.
Overall, I really liked the show.
Okay.
I think I even last week, or the last couple of weeks, you guys would be asking me, like, what do I think is going to happen? I'd float some things, but I often was like, I don't know. Because I had no expectations for what was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
I always was just going to come into this like, I'm just here to be entertained. And for the most part, I was entertained. There's probably some things that could have been done better, but there was never anything that I saw that was like, made me go, man, that sucked.
Yeah,
everything was like, everything I enjoyed legitimately almost every single part of the show. I appreciated it for what it was. At the end of the day, we had all the fan theories and all the things of what it could springboard, but at the end of the day, it was about Wanda coming to terms with her grief and her love for Vision.
Yeah.
And it was a much smaller story than anyone was theorizing.
Absolutely.
And I appreciated it for what it was.
Yeah, I thought that was my first reaction. Was I thought it would be a little bit bigger scale, but it did nail home Wanda's trauma, Wanda's journey, her decision with her family. The action looked great, and it did. It's a third act Marvel thing where it's a big CGI battle. So it's not my favorite episode of the season. Some of it was a little clunky, seemed a little rushed, but.
Did you see that article I sent you?
Yes, we will talk about that. But I did. I mean, I enjoyed the ending. I think they did, for the most part, stick the landing and do what Marvel does well, which is give you some closure and leave things for the future, always pointing to the future. Ruggs, what'd you think overall?
I just watched another show about that ended abruptly, right? Because it got canceled. And because they weren't being renewed, and they just had to kind of end everything abruptly. And this is what this felt like.
Interesting. Well, there's a reason. We'll get into that.
And it felt like that to me after I watched. I'm like, whoa, they needed another episode at least. They needed the other 2 episodes at least. That's how I felt. Throughout the show, I've been saying, like, I feel like they used up those 2 episodes. They stretched that out too long, and they're not going to have enough to finish everything. I've been saying that. And at the end of the day, that's how I felt. I felt like that a lot of things were just left hanging.
Yeah.
But overall, I think as a quality of show and quality of writing, I think it's pretty good. I don't think that all of the esteem that's being heaped upon it as it's being genius or whatever, I feel like it's more fun to talk about the show than the actual show is.
Yeah.
And I had more fun theorizing about it than actually watching it. I was only watching it to theorize. I wasn't really watching it. Like when I just look at what's in front of me, it's like it's good. It's good. It's competent. It's a competent show. It's well acted. Paul Bettany's great.
They're both great. Elizabeth
Olsen's okay, but Paul Bettany's better by far because it's like I really couldn't get a handle on which one was actually her. Like I knew, like the real Vision and then the TV show Vision.
Right.
But I couldn't figure out. I'm like, is this finally Wanda? Is this Wanda? Is this the Wanda? Or the other ones? Like I could never really get a handle on which one was actually really Wanda. And when I'm like, okay, this is Wanda now. So it was a little bit more murky with her. But overall, I think it was a very well done show. But it wasn't greatness. It had moments, but it wasn't like when I see the public exalting something to like the nth degree, and I'm like, I just don't see it. It makes it lesser to me because I'm just seeing like I don't see the greatness. So it's weird. So I liked it. I thought it was good. I give it all of the accolades that I was entertained in the last episode. I thought some of the stuff, the visuals were great, but overall, I just think that the show as a whole was just good. So that's
Marvel has given us, it's more than a show. This was probably one of the greatest like shared experiences I think I've experienced since like it reminded me of like Avengers Endgame at the end. Just every week, everybody talking about this, the memes, the pop culture everywhere.
They made it appointment viewing.
Yeah, absolutely. Household names, and it brought more people into attention to the MCU.
Doesn't it bother you that people were talking about stuff that's not in the actual show, like Lost? People were talking about talking about Fibonacci sequences and stuff like that, and it had nothing to do with anything. And that's exactly. It was more fun to talk about the show.
Yeah.
That's what made it. That's what made it appointment viewing. It's like you wanted to be able to talk about it. You wanted to watch it before
I
anybody
truly enjoyed it the entire time. I liked watching it more than talking about it at times.
It is a little like gem. It's just nice. It's great that we have this show, like that this thing exists and all the way is kind of fucking awesome.
Also, keep in mind, although they have Disney behind them, Marvel Studios as a studio, not Marvel TV, has never put out a TV show.
Never put out
this
a
was the first time.
long-form episodic TV show. So for their first time out, I think they did a great job. And yeah, maybe overall some of the pacing early on could have been, smoothed out so that it didn't feel kind of all rushed in the end. But there's a reason why that happened, and we'll get into that. Let's talk about moments from the episode. What was anything that stuck out? Any big favorite parts, big reveals? Where do you want to start?
Why don't you start?
Well, let's just start with fucking.
Don't narrate the entire episode, please.
Let's start with Agatha. Agatha did have the fucking Darkhold the whole time.
Oh, shit.
That is the Darkhold, which is funny because it was previously seen in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and the Runaways, further confirming that they don't give a shit about those shows because the book looked different.
The book in those it said the Darkhold on the top
the Darkhold,
cover of the
but
book.
it was cool type where you could read it upside down and backwards. It said Darkhold both ways. Like it was designed really well, but it was so TV where you have the name of the book on the book, where this book looked like a fucking cool old book. So the Magic Book of the Damned has a whole chapter devoted to the Scarlet Witch, who we find out she is not born. She is forged. She has no coven, no need for incantation. Her power exceeds that of the Sorcerer Supreme. What the fuck? She goes, it's your destiny to destroy the world. So
they've basically... I mean, she's like this in the comics, but they've made her the Phoenix.
She's Jean Grey, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, she went through a Jean Grey Dark Phoenix moment in the fucking show. That's all I could think of.
But why is her destiny to destroy the world?
Because
they just say that and they don't say the reason why.
No, the Darkhold.
I think that'll be explored in Multiverse of Madness.
The Darkhold is a bad book, and studying that there's only bad things can come from studying that book.
I feel that was kind of flimsy.
Yeah.
Like when, first of all, when Agatha Harkness faces off against Scarlet Witch in the episode prior, she says, you have this unlimited amount of power. You have the power to create things.
Yeah, spontaneous creation.
But she doesn't create anything. She just creates an illusion of things. So she's not actually creating things, because if she could create things, she could actually take her kids and Vision and Dave, but maybe she'll develop that later on with the Darkhold that she's reading and stuff like that.
It might make her more powerful. You're right. She was able to rewrite reality if it existed, but then the stuff that was completely her magic.
The only person who's actually changed by Wanda is Photon.
Yeah.
And we don't know why.
Yeah.
But nobody else resulted in permanent changes. Like nothing else resulted in
Photon went through the hex 3 times.
Yeah.
They've talked about that.
Right. But like for some reason that's just writing. Right? Because they just wrote it that way. That doesn't really make any sense, because this hex comes and goes, and she changed things and they changed back. And everybody's back to normal. And so like whatever's going on, they're saying she can spontaneously create, but it's really just an illusion. It's just an extension of her power. Maybe somewhere down the line, when not in this show,
it becomes real.
But that's kind of weird writing. And so a lot of the times, a lot of the writing, like as I said, her magic stayed on that one drone so they could use it for Vision.
That's convenient.
Just there's no rhyme or reason to why this stuff works.
You know what I kept thinking of watching this episode? When you were like, you could see the writing on the wall. That's this whole episode here at the end. A little bit was like, oh, of course, this is how you kind of saw this coming. So,
well, yeah, it's just, to me, it's like I didn't understand. So they introduced this Nexus thing in the commercials. They never ever addressed that either.
Oh, don't even get me started on the fucking commercials. They were just there to play with us and reveal Wanda's trauma.
Everybody else gets revealed of what their significance is as as the normal people that were actually there. Like, so when you see the mailman, finally he's just the mailman.
He was the pizza guy, yeah.
Yeah, you don't ever get to see those people. Maybe you do, but they're in the background so much they're not even focused on, or maybe I didn't see them, but I watched it twice, but I was looking for that, but I couldn't find them. So yeah, there were some things that they left out there that I felt like that was underdeveloped.
Well, like Dottie. I do love the moment where Agatha cuts the spell on Dottie, and Dottie is like, oh, my name's Sarah, you gotta let me see my children. Please don't let them out of their room.
I loved all that.
That was great, but then
I loved all that because getting to Wanda, her character coming out of this is very much like a gray character, right? Like Agatha even says, heroes don't torture people.
Well, she's the bad guy. She's actually the bad guy.
Yeah, she's actually terrible.
Yeah.
Even Monica Rambeau says you'll never know what you sacrifice. They'll never know what you sacrifice, and she's like, they'll never care.
Yeah.
And they shouldn't, right? Like, she tortured them for a week. And the more they revealed about what was going on, they're like, you're even when we sleep, we see your nightmares.
That was crazy. Your grief is poisoning us.
Even that line, what did she sacrifice? They're illusions that she created. They weren't even real.
Wait, at the end,
wait. I got a theory on that. So I don't think they're illusions, because at the end, when she's looking through the books, you hear the kids scream. So my theory is, and they said this earlier, where nothing gets nothing. It's not created; it just gets rewritten.
Yeah.
So I think when she gets the kids, that she says to the kids, "Thanks for choosing me to be your."
Oh my God, so heartbreaking. Yeah.
So what I think happened there? This is my fan theory. Is she pulled souls from another multiverse, injected them into the kids. Once the kids went away, they didn't actually go away. They got sent back to their universe.
I think at the end, when she's doing the spells, I think she's trying to figure out. Yes, when she hears them, she's going to try to figure out how to cross through universes to find her children. Yes,
that's my working theory.
That's not.
I will be pissed if I'm wrong.
Yes, you better be.
I mean, you won't be pissed, or you will.
You will.
I will be. I'll be so mad.
No, I mean, obviously, when they have that Easter egg at the end. That they still exist in some way. They persist.
Yeah, they're following her. They're finding her.
When anything dies, it supposedly persists, right? So according to whatever, anything that's made can't be unmade, So
sure.
It's like mass can't be destroyed, just transferred into something, or energy into something else. Yeah.
Right. So one of the things that I really like, let's get to some positive stuff, is I did like Paul Bettany, his goodbye.
Oh.
I felt like the most truest emotion, the thing that pulled at me the most was his reaction to everything.
Yeah.
Because he just figured out what he was, and now he's gonna die. And he said, "Oh,
and he's okay with it,
and he's fine with it."
Yeah.
But the way he delivered the dialogue, the way he acted it, and he's a fucking machine, and he's the most human character in the whole fucking show.
I completely agree with you, Ruggs. I think Paul Bettany was by far the best, and the lines they wrote for him, and the way he was able to deliver them. I mean, the line where he says, like, "I was once a body or a voice with no body, and then I was a body but not human, and now I'm a
memory that is made real.
Who knows what I'll made? Who knows what I'll be next?
Good.
Oh my gosh, that was. I mean, they whoever wrote his dialogue, like, they just nailed Vision.
And then
every time
he's badass as fucking White Vision too. Like the look on his face and the way he acted was phenomenal.
That's the ship of Theseus, where they get into a philosophical thought
This
experiment.
is great. Let's talk about that. First of all, Ghost Vision almost pops Wanda's head like a fucking grape. You hear the bones cracking. That was a great detail. I was like, oh my God. And then, they fight. There's some fun.
I got a little thing when he's squeezing her head.
Yes.
Keep in mind, we hadn't seen any action to that point.
Yes.
Really, in the entire show. So when Vision like comes out of nowhere off screen and slams him through a trailer,
into the Winnebago.
I got really excited there.
So
I probably
like,
popped a nice little boner.
Well, I mean, there was a lot of Superman vibes in their fight. Kind of, it was pretty brutal, and they were making big holes in the ground.
What they did that was cool with their fight, which wasn't as cool with the Wanda. Like Wanda and Agatha's fight was just them throwing color at each other, right?
Yes.
But at least for like Visions, they like really explored the powers, and it was like mind beams. It was philosophical. It was them phasing.
Yeah.
Like you really got to have fun with the powers.
Well, I thought the smartest thing was he goes for the Mind Stone and Vision just phases through him. And I was like, why the fuck didn't you do that in Endgame, you fucking piece of shit? That's all you had to do.
Well, he got pierced through the chest and his whole body was
was not
up.
operating well.
Right.
But clever uses. And then the fact that he full color conditional vision de-escalates the situation by posing a thought experiment of the ship of Theseus. Did you guys know about this? I don't think I ever learned about this.
I never learned about the ship of Theseus thought experiment.
You did know?
I did not know about it.
Ruggs,
I think it's an interesting thought experiment.
It is. Ruggs, did you know about this?
No. I mean, not in this way, no.
So, basically he brings up, he's like, there is a artifact in the museum, a ship kept in the museum. As its boards rot, they were replaced by new ones. After many years, every board is replaced. Is that ship still Theseus' ship? What if all the rotten boards are miraculously removed of their rot and reassembled? Is that ship Theseus' ship? And then Vision has that great realization where basically they're both Vision and neither of them are Vision.
That's brilliant.
And it stops him. And then he's just like, I am okay. So then he unlocks. That was great too.
Before they get into the thought experiment, Vision says a line and he goes, they pause and he goes, I request elaboration.
Yeah, I was like, oh, fuck, that got him. Oh, shit. He goes, I'm just a conditional Vision. I thought he was going to convince him to like kill himself because he's the real Vision.
At that point, I thought they were going to merge.
Oh,
and they were going to bring back Vision that way, where it was like, we're both Vision. We both have like the good parts of Vision.
Well, that was what was interesting is one had the data and the other one kind of had the soul and the spark to start. And he unlocks Vision's memories, and you see a clip of like Vision and everything in MCU. And so now White Vision has his unlocked memories. And the funniest thing where he just goes, I am Vision. And then he's like, bye. And then just fucking takes off. And I'm like, what happened? Where are you going? Why are you helping? Why did he go?
So if he remembers all of his memories, he should immediately go to Wanda, right?
That's what I would assume.
I interpret it as, not that he got all his memories, but he's now aware of what Vision has been through, but he doesn't remember them. I'm another fan theory. He doesn't remember them like as if I lived it. It's as if he's seeing someone else live it, but he knows it's him. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I see you, Imran, do all these things.
Right.
But I'm not you.
Right.
So that's how I think he sees Vision's memories. Is he sees them as a friend,
as somebody else
all
doing these things, not him.
But he knows it's him.
But it's not him.
It's not like he connects with it. Like he's not seeing it through Vision's
because
eyes.
he didn't actually go through it.
Well, I mean, I would argue that he's been alive for 5 minutes.
Yes.
I don't think he has that much of a sense of person.
That also is a very
well, and
good
I
point.
thought when he left, it seemed to me that he was pissed at Sword for keeping.
That's also a very good point, though, Ruggs, that he has no sense of who he even is.
No. So to be overwhelmed with
all this shit at once,
all this knowledge, I think that it would. I mean, maybe it was overwhelming and he had to get away, but I would probably at least. This is the other thing. So Wanda now has to like collapse the hex, right? She's got to put her kids to bed, say goodbye to them forever, say goodbye to Vision. But Vision knows that he just recreated a new Vision, and he doesn't tell her. He lets her think. Like, he could have been like, listen, there's a little silver lining to this.
Point.
Guess what? I just fucking hooked you up and unlocked this motherfucker, and he's out there. And for some reason, they couldn't put him together until the last episode of the show, because they were putting him together for 3 months, and all of a sudden they magically figured it out. But now they have him, and he's out there, and he's got memories.
These are all good points. Why wouldn't he have told Wanda? Wanda would be like, by the way, what happened to the other Vision?
Yeah, spare her the fucking misery from dying a third time.
But then you get that line where he's like, we've said goodbye before, and we'll probably say hello again. But he could have been like, by the way, there's another Vision out there.
But he knew,
Well, he knew that she'll find her. Let her be sad for a little bit.
Yeah, let her feel me being dead again.
Oh God!
Just because I want her to.
But Anthony, you sent this article from The Verge called "WandaVision: Ship of Theseus Fixes the Dumbest Thing About Marvel Movies," basically explaining how there's always been philosophy in the MCU, but this identity metaphysics philosophy being at the forefront is kind of new, and it's a new way to think about. It's a new form of philosophy that we've seen in the MCU.
I was in a philosophy class. And we never talked about Theseus. We talked about something, and it reoccurred to me when I was watching Jeremy John's review of this.
Yeah,
and he said the same exact thing, which was fucking weird. Was like in the philosophy class, they said, you know that you are a different person every 7 years. All your cells change.
Oh, right.
But yet you remain the same.
I've heard
like
that.
every cell in your body dies and gets replenished by brand new cells.
Whoa.
And I was like, oh, shit. And so I didn't hear about the ship of Theseus. I think that's
similar. It's similar.
But I heard that same kind of theory. And then Jeremy Johns pointed that out. And I was like, oh, okay. All right, cool. Like, I guess everything can change about you and you're still the same thing, I guess. I don't know. I guess that's what the point was. But, yeah, so I did hear about that, but not in that way.
You know, another thing I liked the ship of Theseus. I brought up earlier how I liked how I'm thinking about Miss Marvel. Scarlet Witch, Wanda is like now kind of a gray character.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed the one part too where she realizes the horror of what she's doing, right? And all these people. So she does what's right and she opens up the portal.
Yeah, it's catch-22 though.
But then like you see Vision and the kids like blocking out.
Fuck.
And I thought that was like a really good like I thought that was a brilliant way of like I always enjoy when you put the hero in like a tough position. You put them like in a crucible, and they have to decide between one good thing or another.
It's the old save the bus or chase me kind of Superman thing.
I mean, at the end of the day, she did what she should do, which is save the rest of the people. Yeah. But it was like I always enjoy when they're able to throw heroes in those situations.
Save Westview or save your family. And you know what? Wanda has kind of put herself in this situation unknowingly. She was choking people out unknowingly there when they were getting mad at her. I was like, holy fuck, she can't control any of this. And
it's a good place to take the character. I think it makes the character a lot more interesting.
And it makes sense like how they tied it to sorcerers and the Doctor Strange magic and how
also just her grief.
Yes.
It's really tied to her grief and her being so grieving that like, you take your grief out on other people, and she does it subconsciously.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like when you grieve, it's the people around you that really get affected
they feel
too,
it.
right?
Yeah,
and this is like this is kind of a metaphor for that
manifesting in real
with
life,
superhero powers, right? Yeah.
That's so good, and it does blur the line between the straight good and evil we kind of get, and Marvel has done that in the past. was that a little too much Dark Phoenix when she turns into the Scarlet Witch? The costume looks dope, by the way. She looked fantastic.
I love the costume.
It looks
I can't believe they pulled that costume off.
It looks a lot like Fassbender's Magneto costume too. Somebody pointed out. I was like, oh shit!
Yeah,
but
there's an M on the head.
On the head, yeah, and it looks amazing, and it's like a pretty comic accurate update of this fucking costume. But man, that was the switch. She's Dark Phoenix. That's Jean Grey becoming Dark Phoenix. Wanda becoming Scarlet Witch.
Yeah, no, I thought it was. I again couldn't believe they pulled off the costume, and once it was on screen, I just went, oh my gosh. Took them forever to figure this out, but they got it.
We got there.
there.
And then just when Vision goes, I got to know, what am I? And she goes, you're a piece of the Mind Stone that lives in me. You're my hope, my love, my grief. Oh, it's good. And then it's just really sad at the very end when she's truly alone again.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you see her just put her hood up and you're like, fuck, she had this. But she only had this family for like a week. It's like 7 days. And then the kids were only around for like a few days.
It was a week, yeah. But
I guess
she bonded with the kid.
I bond with these foster dogs in a week. Believe me, sometimes it feels like a month, and I'm like, oh my god, he's leaving already, but you just got here.
I also enjoyed the Incredibles pose that they had him do.
That was great. I got some Easter eggs. Wait, before we get to Easter eggs.
Well, the line she says where it's like, I know we never prepared you for this.
You were born for
but
this.
You guys were born for it.
Fuck yeah, and they do the Incredibles pose, and it's just like they got a speedster, just like the Incredibles.
Wish we would have got more of the kids doing
stuff. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That would have been nice.
Some stuff got rushed. Monica stops bullets by using energy. They lose their momentum and drop. This is her power. This is all she gets to do. Doesn't really get to do a lot in this episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get in.
Are you excited about her? Are you like pumped to see what she's going to do next?
The post-credit scene got me a little more excited, and it's just set up for possibly Captain Marvel 2.
I would say I enjoyed her character up until the last 2 episodes when she was basically kind of sidelined.
Yeah.
I think they could have done more with her towards the end and made you give it like just kind of care more. I think she and Darcy, a lot of the side characters lost steam by the end of the show.
Yeah, they got like one line, Darcy.
Yeah.
Oh, Darcy was
Darcy got one line. Have fun in prison. Have fun in prison. Okay, now let's get to some of the clunky things. 2 of the biggest ones to me where fucking fake Pietro is a working actor named Ralph Boner.
So he's the Ralph that she's been talking about.
He's the Ralph that she's been mentioning. His name is Boner. He's just some dude in the house, and he goes, Boner. That's it? That's what all this was about? A boner joke?
I'm trying to figure this whole thing out. So Agatha is living with Boner.
Boner.
All right.
Yeah.
Now she's living with Boner this whole time, and it just so happens that the Boner is the same guy that Wanda or Agatha creates the fake Pietro, or
no,
how does that happen?
Boner looks like. He happens to look like Evan Peters.
There's a little bit of a disconnect there of why Wanda would think that was her brother.
No, but I'm saying why would Wanda choose that guy to be fake Pietro, or did Agatha choose him to be fake Pietro?
Agnes choose him.
So Agnes controls fake Pietro, right?
Yes,
right.
The purple necklace.
So she knows all about Wanda, but then she doesn't know enough, so she has to go back into her memories in the next episode, or like so she can.
That one doesn't make sense.
Yeah, there's some of these things fall apart when you think about it.
So as soon as you start seeing the writing, to me, I start seeing the writing. It's like I can't not see it.
That one, I will definitely agree with you. I mean, it was just Marvel trolling, but I was thinking back. First off, I was like, why would Wanda think this random guy is her brother?
Yeah, that didn't make sense.
But then I made up in my head, well, maybe she just thinks Pietro got reincarnated into this. Okay, fine, I'll go with it. But then once he's asking her questions, like, remember when we were kids and you went to this? I'm like, how does Agnes know that? How does she know about when they were kids?
That's a good point.
What things that happened?
So it's either way it doesn't work. Either if this is just Wanda pulling this guy.
Agnes could read Wanda's mind, maybe.
No, because it's established what Ruggs said that she needed to.
She needed Wanda to walk through
the past, the history.
Yeah. So basically, okay, it's either one thing or the other. It's either Agatha it pulled the strings and created fake Pietro, and controlled him, but all of a sudden had this knowledge that she didn't have. Where did she get all this knowledge from? Or Wanda just called forth somebody to be because she missed them and wanted to have him like she created the kids and everything, like created someone to be a surrogate Pietro. But then
Wanda didn't create him.
Then Agatha had nothing to do with it. And why does it make it like she was behind it? She wasn't. So
why
was
was
she
all along? Actually,
and why was she living with that guy? Like it's the guy that she so happens to be the guy that she's living with. Gets that just was weird.
Well, that's just convenient. Boner's there. I'm going to send him in. It's
very clunky.
Okay, and how possibly the most clunkiest, cartooniest shit that this ended up happening is with fucking director Hayward, who by the end of it, he gets arrested. He's gonna ram them. He's shooting kids in the street.
They should have given him a mustache tutorial.
Oh my god, this guy got so fucking cartoony by the end of this. It was ridiculous.
He was probably the weakest part, but I did hear a good point. At the end of the day, he was trying to save the town.
Yeah, but they didn't make it. If they would have stayed true to that,
yeah.
Well, he wanted to get the Vision remade, and then he wanted to save the town. He wanted to do both.
Both, yeah. He wanted to be the hero and get the Vision.
And get a weapon.
But the thing is that they portrayed him as the bad guy the whole time, and then everyone else didn't like him either. Yeah. They should have portrayed him as the one guy that was actually doing the right thing. And that would have been better.
Sense. Yes, like the righteous dude or something.
Yeah,
well, I kept saying throughout our reviews, I was like, it's so obvious that he's the villain that he can't be the villain.
Yeah,
I was just like, he's too much of an ass. Like it's they have to subvert our expectations
because it would have been a better contrast, don't you think?
Absolutely.
Why was Hayward tracking Vision at all? If he had Vision this whole time and was rebuilding him, why was he tracking Vision?
Yeah, what is Project Cataract?
What was Cataract? What's the point of that?
Well, I mean, he's making Project Cataracts for the old Vision.
Okay, but why is he tracking this Vision inside? He can't help.
Because here's my thought. It's because he's like, holy shit, there's another fucking Vision. I've been trying to create a Vision, and there's another Vision.
Yeah, I can figure out how this. I
couldn't wrap my mind around I couldn't wrap my mind around why Wanda was broadcasting it like a TV show.
Question. Yes,
but
why was she broadcasting?
But
it was her subconscious.
Sure.
I guess.
But why did it end when it ended?
Yeah,
because she got control of herself.
Okay,
but
I'll buy it.
But yeah, the whole thing is that Darcy finds out about this secret plan to find the Vision, but he had the Vision the whole time.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, that's a weird secret project to have. Like to have something that you're looking for something that you already have. Like that's a weird thing. I don't know. I felt like that was weird.
Can I get into Imran what they had planned for the finale?
Yes.
Oh yeah, there was they had problems with the finale, right? Happened?
So COVID really screwed with their timeline. Originally, this was supposed to be like I think the second MCU show release.
Yep, after Winter Soldier.
They originally wanted to do 3 episodes. The first 3 released the same day.
Okay,
but that would have pushed everything up a week,
right?
And they were just finishing up the last episode.
Yes, 2 weeks before it aired, they finished this episode. Right. And so we can talk about that. Matt Shackman went on Fat Man Beyond, and I watched all of it today and revealed a bunch of things and how the pandemic shutdown affected the show in some substantial ways, more than we thought.
Yeah.
But they had finished shooting March 2020, just in time for everything to shut down. But that meant they can't go back for reshoots. So you'll notice there's some kind of weird editing and CGI stuff in this episode because they were literally cutting it together 2 weeks before it aired.
Yeah, and the final episode was supposed to have like a bigger, like an ending where while they were fighting outside, what's his name? Monica Rambeau, the kids,
right? Darcy.
We're supposed to go into the basement to like. I forget what they were supposed to do.
Steal the Darkhold from Agatha.
Steal the Darkhold, right. And the rabbit was supposed to be some sort of demon that they were going to fight with.
He said the rabbit was going to American Werewolf in London type turn into a demon. He said he shot this, but they didn't have time for the visual effects.
Yeah, everything's filmed. They just
Other interesting things he said. Monica had a bigger role in some of the versions. A lot
that would have helped.
A lot was left on the cutting room floor. There was crunch time at the end. They were constantly changing and rewriting things. He said at one point they had 10 episodes planned, and they ended up collapsing a couple just to make the rhythm work better. It also seems the aerospace engineer's tease was 100% intended, but then they got worried when people started suddenly saying they were expecting Reed Richards to show up, and they were like, oh, fuck. So some of these things were unintended, like the Kick-Ass reference he said was unintended. the engineer tease was intended. And this is why Darcy only has one line in the finale, because they had to finalize things post-lockdown. They couldn't put things together as well as they had to. So, working with what they had, still a fucking pretty amazing product.
It makes sense when you hear that,
Yes.
like, how some of the things wrapped up, and you're like, wait a minute, like...
What happened to this?
That's all?
Yeah, what happened
you
to
built
this
up
thing?
a couple of these characters throughout the entire show, and that's
They
it?
get nothing in the end, yeah, but it's just the circumstance. So, okay, post-credit scene number 1, Nick Fury sends a Skrull, which is probably Monica's friend from Captain Marvel, the little Skrull, to tell Monica that a friend of your mother's wants to meet you up in space. Obviously, this is Nick Fury, and she looks up, and this clearly sets up Captain Marvel 2, and maybe Secret Invasion a little bit. What do you guys think of this post-credit scene?
I don't know. I mean, I'm done theorizing. I
Yeah,
shouldn't
a
do
lot of it is going to come through you bastards.
You can't do that anymore.
No, we can't do it. I mean, obviously, she's going to be part of Sword up in the sky,
Yeah,
up in the outer space.
I was
it'd be
glad.
cool.
I was glad to see a Skrull. I was like, yeah, I knew there was going to be a Skrull in this.
Well, there's going to be more. We've been seeing some Skrulls, like you know, in a lot of these movies. So
Spider-Man, you saw one too.
Yeah,
there's going to be Skrulls. And then the second post-credit scene this episode gave us two. We catch up with Wanda. It's an amazing one-shot take going through secluded mountains and lakes, and you see this cabin, and she's sitting there drinking tea, and then the camera goes past her. She goes inside, turns to the right, and you see her astral projecting herself, studying the fucking Darkhold.
Geek boner.
Holy shit, you gotta imagine Doctor Strange is not gonna enjoy this. Why hasn't he sensed any of this? But this is also just like Doctor Strange was doing in his movie, where he had astral self and he's fucking studying everything.
Yeah, I mean, it puts her, as I've been saying, it puts her in a spot where she's kind of a wild card now, and I think that makes her character a lot more interesting. And I hope Doctor Strange picks up on that. And it's one of the aspects I enjoy about this version of storytelling, whereas like some things get closed, but like the comics, some things got to be left open. So it's just another piece in the ongoing story.
That's great. That's what we'll see her next. You got to think like Strange is like, what the fuck is going on, Wanda? What are you doing?
Yeah.
Let's talk.
Well, also keep in mind, I saw this on a video somewhere. Doctor Strange and Wanda, although they might know of each other,
never really talked.
They've never met in the films.
They barely interacted. There's lots of characters that still have
So
not
he
interacted.
might not sense her because he just isn't really all that
Yeah,
aware
but
of her.
fucking Agatha Harkness sensed this fucking hex, and he didn't.
That's true.
So that's what happened, right? She created the projection, and then
she
Agatha
sensed
felt it,
She
and
sensed
then
it.
showed up there.
Why didn't fucking Strange?
She's also 400 years old.
She's very old,
Yeah.
and
But,
Wanda may be stronger. She's stronger than Strange, so this is going to be interesting.
One of the things I thought that was neat, but it's only if you kind of do the work yourself, which I think it should have had a little bit more explanation. Was I feel like Wanda was able to do the runes because she went inside Agatha's mind to do that.
But Agatha showed her the trick. She learned it. She's like, hey, runes, only the witch, the caster can spell.
Yeah, but how does she know what runes are? She just sees them and just remembers them and then just does the same
I did
thing.
like one detail, if you notice, when she's fighting Agatha, she is almost deliberately missing
She's
her
missing,
and hitting
yeah.
the wall, setting up the runes. I was like,
that was all great. So I'm thinking, I'm sitting there like, how do I justify this that Wanda figured out how to do runes? And I said, well, she went inside her head. And once she does that, maybe she can poke around in there and learn from her from there.
Yeah, you have to do the mental gymnastics on that one to make it work.
Yeah, but so I think that you could do that there, and that one gets a pass from me.
Well, that was a great Easter egg where Wanda slips up behind her and does the wiggly woos like she did in Age of Ultron, but then it fucking backfires on her, sort of. And there was creepy fucking animated corpses of witches.
Do you think they needed that scene?
It's interesting why they had that scene, because all that happened was Agatha continued to say, give me, well, she this is where she makes the deal. She goes, give me your power and I'll fix this spell. You can stay here with your family. And she was lying, of course, but I
How do you know that?
Because later she goes, that deal I made you, I can't change it. Sorry, only the witch can fix it. She tells her that I fucking lied to you. I just wanted your power.
Yeah.
No, she says it.
She does say that.
Yeah.
I would have actually liked, again, I liked what I saw on screen, but I think in retrospect, I think they should have even gone more weird and had them fighting each other within their minds.
Oh,
more
that'd
and
have
more,
been cool.
Going deep within like history and stuff, and fighting each other on different memories they've had.
Fuck!
I think that would have
Through
been
the memories they were fighting would have been kind of interesting.
because that that was like the memory of her getting it's Salem witch trials.
Yeah.
So they could have like jumped through Wanda's history and fought.
Well,
like
and
they could have fought in Sokovia when they were like she was a kid and stuff.
oh, that would have been cool. Another thing they could have done is simply. Maybe it wouldn't have worked narratively. Switch the antagonist protagonist because they end up doing the thing they always do. It's Vision versus Vision and witch versus fucking witch, right? They always end up doing this. Maybe they could have done like, hey, let's tag and trade off, and I'll take care of her, you take care of him. I don't know.
That could have been cool.
That'd be cool. I like when different people's powers interact.
That's a lot more interesting, but they always do. The Ant-Man's going to fight the other shrinky guy, and they're going to fight the same fucking person that's themselves. A couple of fun Easter eggs. A lot of Wizard of Oz references. And the whole show is kind of, if you think of Agatha, she is the Wicked Witch of the West. She killed their dog. The boots under the car is just like Wizard of Oz. And then you see on the theater marquee, the Oz the Great and Powerful is playing, which is a movie directed by Sam Raimi, who's doing Doctor Strange 2. So I like how they connected all that. I like White Vision coming out of the fire like the fucking Terminator. That was great. That was a great little The Incredibles pose we talked about. Her accent returns as soon as she defeats Agatha. And the boner joke, Matt Sheckman confirmed, is a reference to Growing Pains. It was Richard Stabone, and Mike Seaver goes, I'm going to call you Boner. And that was his nickname because Sheckman starred in Growing Pains and on Just the 10 of Us and a bunch of 80s sitcoms as a child actor.
Boner.
The guy has a kind of interesting career. He's directed episodes of Game of Thrones. He's done big action stuff. He's acted as a kid on sitcoms. He knows his sitcoms. He knows action. Like the perfect project for him. I think he did a really good job bringing everything together. Here's some other nitpicky red herring things. What about all those fucking references to the devil that amounted to nothing?
Yeah, well, what's her name? Dottie? I thought that she was going to have some...
Agatha says Dottie is the key to everything in Westview. That it was not true.
Yeah, and then they just drop her like a hot coal, like in the rest of the show.
Well, yeah, Marvel brought that one on themselves, too, because they did all the pictures, remember?
Yes.
And Dottie and Agatha were the only ones that they didn't
should have put Dottie's fucking picture on there.
Yeah.
The people in the commercials were not her parents. They were just two other fucking people from Westview that she decided are actors in the commercials.
That one made me very happy that it was nothing. because you were freaking out every week about what the commercials mean.
Yeah.
So I just like that it meant nothing and you wasted all that energy.
I know. But we didn't waste energy on one thing that we all knew. Well, the hardcore people, we all knew Agnes was Agatha, right, from the beginning.
Yeah, that wasn't a big thing. We figured that out right away.
So, like, you give her the red herring of, she's like in the Halloween episode, like,
but keep in mind, how many people how many people know who Agatha Harkness is from the comics?
Very small percentage of the viewers. Probably.
It's just because we talk about this all the time.
If you watch the Screen Rant, the one where they do the movie pitch.
The screen pitch for WandaVision is hilarious.
Watch that.
Yeah,
it's on our
hilarious.
Facebook group, listeners.
It's like the guy says, there's going to be a guy named Agnes, blah, 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 and he like looks up on the phone, Agatha Harkness, I figured it out already.
He's like, you're not supposed to figure that out yet. That's for later. It's so funny.
I have to. Those are always funny. They do a really good job with the pitch meetings.
That pitch meeting is fantastic.
Who the fuck was Jimmy looking for? It was a witness protection, right?
Let's get into questions. Who was Jimmy Woo looking for witness protection? Was it Ralph Boner?
Doesn't matter. They just wanted Jimmy Woo there.
Where did White Vision go? I think we kind of talked about that. But
we talked about that.
Where do you think he'll show up next? And maybe in Ant-Man 3? What movie does he show up in?
I'd say multiverse.
Oh, you think he'll be in Doctor Strange?
I think it's potentially.
Okay, wait. Here's a question. Wanda traps Agatha by trapping her as the nosy neighbor from a 50s sitcom. She goes, I'm going to trap you here, give you the role you wanted. But if the hex is gone,
where is she?
Where is she trapped in? What is she trapped in? And will we see her again in Doctor Strange?
That negates what she said. If there's no hex, she can't have Vision and her kids, right? So how could she have Agatha or Agnes without the hex?
I thought it was just an individual spell.
It could be. Agnes could be walking around thinking she's in a 50s thing when nobody else is. It's possible.
Right.
Well, here's another question. At the end, when she was walking through the town and everyone's giving her the fucking dirty look, do you think those people remember what the fuck happened?
Of course.
Absolutely.
They remember all of it.
Absolutely. That's why they're giving her
That's
a
why
dirty
they're
look.
giving her a dirty look. Okay, but they didn't like.
You have a question in here too about Agatha.
They just didn't like her clothes.
Yeah, her hoodie was just not on brand. Agatha, we're definitely seeing Agatha again. That's why she's like, well, we'll meet again. Well, Agatha's going to turn into her
Her mentor, probably.
Yeah, her unlikely mentor.
Because she goes, you're going to need my help. And Wanda's like, well, if I do, I know where to find you. And then she goes, zap. Right. And she'll be right there the whole time. When she was walking by, the people in Westview, I was surprised they didn't just fucking mob her. Like, she's going to get away with this.
Well, they could see what she could do. They see that she's pretty fucking powerful.
Fuck with her.
She tried choking them all out by not even touching them.
But just accidentally.
Anybody know why her hands turned black and stuff like that?
Well, she was getting sapped of her powers. Like
slowly getting sapped.
Agatha was drinking her magic, but then the ruins, for some reason, see, it's a little convenient. The ruins, for some reason,
recharged
her, and because she was a floating husk.
What she did was before the ruins, she was getting sucked out.
She's getting sucked.
And when she put the runes, I think she was playing into the fact that she was getting her magic taken away, and then she takes it all back.
Yeah, and her magic.
Plus takes some of Agatha's magic.
She took the purple magic too.
Becomes the Scarlet Witch.
So is she now the next, or the big bad? Is she the most powerful?
I hope
in the MCU.
I hope they keep her in a weird spot, because she can't you can't bring her back on the Avengers right now.
No, she is alone. She's
morally terrible. I mean, that's just a terrible thing.
Well, I'm sure it goes against all the Sokovia Accords. Are those still a thing? Is that still active? Because this definitely probably goes against.
Oh yeah, it's huge.
The Sokovia. Well,
I mean, did anyone die? That's the first question.
Good question. Technically, no, they weren't real, were they?
I'm trying to think if anyone died.
Anyone actually died?
A dog died.
Yeah, but that dog could have been made up of magic. The kids could have made him. Or maybe it was a dog that lived there. I don't know. The dog did die. Agatha didn't die.
Well, listen, none of these guys that came in died. These sword people.
No, when would they? What happened? No, everything's down. The hexes, everyone's free. It's like, that's true.
I don't think anyone died.
No, actual.
No. It's up the witches back in the 60s.
Yes, all her mom.
Yeah.
Agatha,
so no one died.
No one died. Okay,
except for a dog. Maybe.
Good point. Except for a dog. And then Paul Bettany did troll everyone, saying the cameo he was talking about was himself. Boo. Boo.
Lame. Yeah, he got to play against himself.
He's like someone I've been wanting to act against.
He's a great actor.
He is. He's a good actor. He did great in this side. And overall, dude, I loved learning more, spending time with these characters. Like I said last week, it's definitely shot Wanda up into a top tier character that I need to know what happens to her. I'm totally invested in her now that they fleshed out this fucking story.
I still don't understand the romance between the both of them. I still don't understand the fact that, to me, I feel like that the chemistry, I don't get it. I never got it in the comics either, to be honest with you. But even where I get it less in.
They're both isolated people that they think no one else can understand.
Right.
I don't know. His lack of humanness is something she can relate to. I don't know.
He can, and I interpret it as like he can, because she's so alone, he's one of the only ones that can understand her because he's never known anything but being alone. So they bond on that level. I mean, it's weird. It's still, at the end of the day, it's a fucking
robot and a witch.
Does he have a penis?
And a witch. Yeah.
Well, she probably, you know what? She probably gave him one. She made him. She made him from scratch. She probably.
Well, no, Ultron. Well, yeah, she made him from scratch, so she could probably
conditional vision.
Yes, she probably put a really.
Well, she had magic babies, so
yeah.
Those babies are coming back, though.
The best take I've ever heard on this was on Twitter, which someone said, WandaVision, a story of a woman who's met her vibrator's broken.
Wait.
And that's what basically the Vision is, a giant vibrator.
The Sean memes, have you seen those where he's got a gold chain on and that turtleneck and he's just swag and it's like, he's Sean. Fucking hilarious.
The green turtleneck.
That just shows you the meme work, but the show just tells you how ingrained this thing got. All right, let's wrap it up. Overall thoughts, maybe rank You tell me your favorite
What
episode.
are we ranking it with?
And then give it a score. I would just
What are we ranking it? We have nothing to rank it with. This was the first Marvel show. Yeah.
Tell me what was your favorite episode and what you would give the show overall. Anthony, you go first.
Okay. Overall, I mean, you heard it. I was in the bag for the show this entire time. It never lost me. I enjoyed everything. At the end of the day, I enjoyed what it tried to be and what it was, and I enjoyed that they kind of took a risk in the beginning with the TV show stuff. Like, that's not really in the comics. They just decided to do that, and for me, it worked. Along with the character development that they gave Wanda and the love that they showed between the two characters, Wanda and Vision. So overall, my favorite episode, at the end of the day, it was all for naught, but I still just love the buzz after that. I think it was the 4th episode when fake Pietro shows up.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that was the amount of buzz and talk around that show. I had people texting me that I never knew even watched Marvel that were going, why? I don't get it.
Who's this guy?
The Fox? Yeah, like, is the Fox guy? What's he doing there? So it's the amount of buzz for something that's a comic book property. I just, at the end of the day, I always enjoy when comic book properties are doing really well. So that was fun. Overall, the show, 8.5 out of 10. I really enjoyed it.
Right on, Ruggs. You want to go next?
Can't wait for Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Oh, yeah. It's a great setup for Winter Soldier. We're doing the same thing weekly? We're going to do weekly, right?
Yeah.
Right. Ruggs.
Yeah, why not? Listen, I thank the show for giving me something to talk about every week. I enjoyed the whole theorizing. I enjoyed the whole kind of watching the show and then watching it again to see what I could pick up on and listening to Imran's 1,000 Easter eggs and all that bullshit every week.
Only 100.
It made a nice experience overall. I felt the actual show I always felt was a little bit lacking for me. I got into it as it went along, but then there's a certain point where I figured out. I think one of the thing that kind of started it was that whole leftover magic on that drone,
right?
And as soon as that started to happen, I was like, oh no! I'm like, oh no! They're not really ahead of me. They're like way not ahead of me. And then I started to look, and then as soon as that happens, and I start to look, and I start to like peel stuff back, it kind of starts to degrade for me as my enjoyment starts to go down. So I was in the bag for it. I liked it, and I kind of knew, I'm like, they're not gonna have enough to wrap this up. And so even though I was having a good time with it for most of it, there was towards the last 3 episodes, I knew that we were going to kind of end in a way that was not going to like really do the show justice that it needed to have. But with that said, they did a pretty good job, and I did enjoy it, and I thought it was fine. And it was completely competent, and the quality of Marvel was there in certain spots. It did come. So overall, good. It wasn't an A. It was more like a
number.
B.
Give me a number.
I'm going to say like a 7.
Okay. Was the $250 million there? I think it kind of was.
At the last episode, yeah, you saw a lot of CG.
I will also thank Marvel for giving us just an amazing shared geek experience.
Geek boner.
Every week. What a fucking joy. And the show did what it needed to do, is spend time, flesh out WandaVision. I love getting to know them. It was a lot of fun. Was it a little clunky at times? Maybe, yeah. But it's nowhere near. I know people are saying it had Game of Thrones season 8 vibes. It's nowhere near
no
that bad. But I can see how you could say that. It's
when was that Daenerys when she turns evil for no reason?
There was nothing like that. There was nothing like that. I just think it needed more time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it didn't have. Oh, well, never mind. That's
no, I'm just saying. There's people say that. And I was like, I can see where you're going. But man,
don't stop reading the internet.
Yeah, fuck the internet. This is an amazing, creative, fresh, different, fucking exciting thing they gave us. I loved it. I will give it an 8.5 also, and I can't wait for Falcon and Winter Soldier, which is now we're getting a completely different espionage spy thriller with fucking more action. Obviously, it's got to be. I mean, it's not going to be as small and intimate as this. Maybe a little bit bigger. So, fuck, I can't wait.
Well, here's the thing, too, real quick. Just a quick point on Marvel doing this show and it being for all accounts, it looks like it was pretty
It's a successful
overall.
experiment. First time out.
If they're able to continue this, they've now basically just taken over
Everything.
in terms of like pop culture conversation. They'll be in the conversation every week. You know, when they did the movies, it was at most 4 movies a year. So you had maybe like a week or 2 of buzz around each week, so 8 weeks. But now potentially they could be in the conversation for 40, 45 weeks out of the year.
It's unbelievable. And between this and Star Wars, like they're just going to rule everything.
See, one of the things I really like about this show and this whole idea of Disney on TV is that they don't have to do these gigantic, big superhero things. They can do these kind of unique things, and they can kind of explore a lot of different things that are, you know, not necessarily, you know, people punching each other. But so I'm excited to see what that brings. Like, because it did make people kind of dig into the Marvel universe. Like people were sitting there looking stuff up.
People were rebuying fucking Avengers comic books and buying House of M and shit and reading that shit.
There's tons of stuff to mine.
And
There's tons of stuff.
The projects they picked for the TV are amazing, and they make so much sense if you think about Loki and Miss Marvel and She-Hulk and Hawkeye. Like, just perfect little filling in these things on the side. And then you have the larger movies flying through this. So good, man. This year is going to be crazy. There's so much more coming.
I'm pumped.
I'm pumped.
Yeah, me too.
Let's do some news from the nation. It's time for news from the nation. It's time for news from the nation.
It stinks. It stinks. It I think
my butthole was open.
It was an open butthole? Oh, my God. Wide open. We got lots of great comments from our listeners about the final episode. I didn't say what my favorite episode was. And I think that the episode 8, the one before last week's, going through Wanda's memories, that whole sequence where she goes to get the vision to the end, I think that's my favorite episode. That one is just like, it was just paced well. It had everything, and you learned so much shit, and it was emotional, and then still you had shit moments. So that was my favorite. Daryl K says, really surprised how well the show wrapped up in 40 minutes. I knew it would be a lot of setup, but I didn't expect that much conclusion. I do think that the hero goes off to a cabin in the woods thing could have used a couple of minutes of setup in order to work better. Maybe. Sure. She's there. Lisa Morrison says, good episode. I thought quality-wise, last week was their best one, but this wrapped up enough to leave me not totally frustrated, but still left a lot hanging. Love when she went full Scarlet Witch. I cried when she had to let everyone go again. And while I might be in the minority here, I'm glad there weren't any big cameos or huge. It was Mephisto all along reveals. And I love the more powerful than the Sorcerer Supreme line. I feel sad, though it's over. I'm also sad it's over. Nate Casimiro, who's on last week, not everybody loved this. Nate goes, I thought it was just okay, perhaps even disappointing. I think I wanted something more than a witch off that mostly involved flying and energy handballs or Vision outsmarting his programming. Wanda and Vision both using a trick to win a fight made me lose faith in the depth of trauma we have been led to believe. There was closure, but it felt to me like a lack of consequences or even struggle despite self-identity crisis and the inevitability of loss. Also, Monica Rambeau deserved a better role in this ending as well.
Oh, I agree 100%.
Well, and a lot of that, we discussed why that happened because of the pandemic and nobody died, so the lack of consequence rings true also. Kate Thiem says, was really hoping Vanilla Vision would have a hybrid voice of Spader and Bettany. Oh, shit. He did not, just a little voice distortion. Dion Robertson says, I really wanted to see Monica kick some ass. She saved the kids, but they really didn't need saving. So that was a wasted opportunity. I felt it would have got me more excited for the Secret Wars, or Secret Invasion, probably he meant setup. Again, Monica was going to do more, and they didn't have time. Lenny Romero, Lensations.
The Lensations.
Dude, shout out to the Lensations. Oh, shit. He says, I'm a bit underwhelmed by the finale, but I think that's on me. I might have theorized too much and inevitably set too many high expectations for this show. However, I still believe it's a great show. See, Lenny can own up to, yeah, we did it to ourselves. we shouldn't be mad that they didn't deliver stuff they never promised. That's all. And then I have a comment.
The laugh at his own.
No comment. I have a comment. Wes Cranford sent me a message on Facebook Messenger. He said, hey, I'm listening to Mostly Superheroes, the episode you went on, Anthony.
Nice.
At the moment. And I got to say, he says, your commercial for Jock and Nerd is hilarious. You should play it for us. Also, please note my proper use of punctuation. Yes, well punctuated, Wes Cranford. And I realized we have this great promo that we sent out for other podcasters. And podcasters, if you want, you can get it. We'll play yours. But our listeners haven't heard it. And actually, it's pretty good. Should we play it for them?
They've heard it, no?
I don't think I've heard it.
See, apparently not. So there's a 2 30 seconds promo and a 1 minute promo. I'm going to play the full 1 minute promo. It is really funny. I am proud of it.
You've heard others, but nothing could prepare you for the shameful stupidity that is the Jock and Nerd Podcast. Hear Imran.
So if you offend everyone at once, it's a wash. I've covered everybody.
Anthony.
Sorry, I was texting. Say that again.
And Rug Boy.
Yeah, whenever there's a snowstorm, my Slack hole tightens up.
As they talk over one another.
Just exactly the same as
Terminator.
We're talking over each other. It's fine.
Sorry.
Swear.
I had boobies.
And ask you for money.
Just give us the money.
Witness the hubris as they claim to be the world's authority on comic book movies.
Who said that?
Never said that. You've never said that.
Who cares? A Jock said that.
Comic book, TV, movie reviews, news, and whatever they choose. Available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and wherever you find your favorite podcasts. The Jock and Nerd Podcast.
It's campy, silly, goofy fun.
Seriously, people really listen to this.
Jock and Nerd. The is my best. That's the best part.
I have heard that, but it is good.
Dude,
not to stroke ourselves up too much, but
listen,
the epic voice guys.
Epic voice guy,
great voice.
John Bailey, and shout out to Seth Morgan who helped produce this and get all the clips and help me put it together. And it's pretty funny, and people hear it on other shows. So if you're listening and you are a podcaster and you need some promos, you want some promotion, send yours over, email show@jockandnerd.com, and I will reply with this. Or you can go to our website. It's right on the fucking homepage. Just download it. Use it in your show, listener, if you have a show. If not, just put it on repeat on your Alexa. I don't know. Fucking just have it out there. And that will take us to what are we watching, fellas? I know there's one thing me and Ruggs both watched, and I have some thoughts.
I haven't watched it yet, so.
Oh, I am talking
Don't go full
about.
spoiler.
I won't. No spoilers. Coming to America, the sequel to Coming to America. If that makes any sense. Number 2 on Amazon Prime release. Ruggs, you watched this?
Yes, I did.
What did you think? You want to start?
I laughed at some of
Did
it,
you?
and some of it I did not laugh at.
Did you?
Yes.
You hated it, huh, Imran?
I'm going to say
Floppy John.
It's a little disappointing.
Yeah.
First of all, it's PG-13.
Wait, but before you get into why it was disappointing,
yeah,
has there ever been a good sequel that was released to a comedy like years later?
Well, yes.
Bill and Ted,
I will
Dumb
rank.
and Dumber, they're all bad.
No, but this year and last year, there has been a group of these movies that have come back after 14, 20, 30 years, and they all kind of do the same thing, and there's definitely a standard and a ranking. I can give you the quick ranking later. Some have more successful than others, but yes, the idea to make something 35 years later and still have it try to...
Comedies. Specifically comedies.
Yes,
there's not a good track record for this.
And the fact that the original was R-rated and this is PG-13 and try to capture something from that first movie, this is very fucking hard and near impossible to do. And this thing doesn't even get close. Like, it's the same movie as the first movie. It's exactly the same fucking movie. It doesn't add anything. Just watch the first movie again. It's way more enjoyable.
Well, there's a lot more cursing and there's a lot more it's amazing. Coming to America is fucking an incredible movie.
It is.
I could watch it 1,000 times.
It is an 80s classic.
This movie, it was nice to see Eddie Murphy.
The cast is great. It was great to see all these people.
It was nice to see like every single like prominent black
Wesley
actor
Snipes,
in this.
Morgan Freeman. You got James Earl
having
Jones.
fun.
Yeah.
So I had fun with it for that. Now, if I look at it as a film, I don't want to talk
so
about
forgettable.
it.
It's all just nostalgia and callbacks to the first movie, and that's it. It's forgettable.
My
But
mom
it's
had
fun.
it on, and I walked by, and there was one point where they're in the barber shop.
Yeah.
And Eddie Murphy, as the barber, goes, nowadays, something along the lines of, nowadays, they can take your dick and turn it into a vagina. That's real nice.
Yeah, that's it.
I heard that line. I started laughing, and I'm like, I can't wait to watch this
Dude, the
movie.
barbershop bits are the best thing in the movie. The rest of it is...
How are the guys still alive?
Yeah, they're very old. Even the old white dude that Eddie Murphy plays, he's still sitting there.
I remember mentioning that. I was like, those guys were supposedly really old 30, 40 years ago.
They're the same. They look the same age.
Like, they must be like 90 years old there.
They're the same. But those guys are funny. They're like, what's up, Kunta Kinte? Every time he walks in. But those guys, it's the funniest shit in the movie.
So it's not good, huh?
It's all right. It's disappointing.
Listen, if you're going to watch it for the nostalgia.
That's the only reason to watch
and to see Eddie Murphy and Arsenio having fun and Wesley Snipes, they're all having a ball.
They are having fun in this movie, yes.
And, fucking Tracy Morgan, need I say more?
Yeah.
That guy could do anything and be funny.
And Wesley Snipes
Tracy
is
Morgan.
funny in this. He's got some good
Yeah,
lines.
so
I'm gonna watch.
You'll enjoy yourself, but is it to even put it on the same shelf?
No.
As Coming to America, the
Yeah.
original, it's not even
A
close.
better movie by the same director and Eddie Murphy is My Name is Dolomite. That was on Netflix. That movie is fucking fantastic. Same director. This one is just like a walk through nostalgia for the sake of nostalgia. And
It's fine.
okay, here's my ranking. Here, all these movies have done the same shit. You have the Jay and Silent Bob reboot. You have Bill and Ted Face the Music. You have Borat subsequent movie film. You have this movie. All of 4 of these movies deal with movies from 30 years ago, and then they
say those
introduce
again? One more time. Borat.
Jay and Silent Bob reboot.
Yeah.
Kevin Smith introduces his daughters. Bill and Ted Face the Music introduces their daughters. Borat introduces his daughter, and Coming to America introduces his daughters and a son that he has in America. And remember, we were like, how did he get a son? They explained that. It's kind of funny, actually, that part. Leslie Jones is great. But all these movies doing the same thing. Heavy nostalgia. Here's the kids for the next generation. I will say the worst of these is maybe Coming to America. Then the Kevin Smith movie. Then Bill and Ted. And the best one is Borat. He was able to succeed most with, and that's an R-rated movie. But that's the ranking.
Yeah.
And they're all...
I would agree with that.
That's how it goes. So,
Well, Borat, he's not really making a real movie.
I mean, it is and it isn't, but it's the same idea.
It's the same idea, but it's not.
Same guy, 15 years later, and he's got a daughter now, and it's got to be about his daughter. That's like all of these movies are the same fucking thing. Ruggs, you got anything else you watched? I know you watched a couple of things.
I watched a fucking ass load of stuff. Dread is on Hulu.
Wait, that's the Carl Urban one?
The Carl Urban
That's a
one. If
good
you
one,
haven't seen
actually.
it, it's a very small movie, very tight movie. The ending's a little bit not the biggest ending.
I
but
like that Dread.
Still a good movie.
Yeah, I like
All
that Dread.
Still a solid film. Doesn't really do as amazing hoops, but it's just a good solid little film to watch. I watched Boss Level on Hulu,
Ooh,
which is a movie that's a ripoff of the Tom Cruise movie, the one where he wakes up
Tomorrow.
Yeah, it's basically Edge of Tomorrow, but with what's his name? Fucking
Grillo, Frank Grillo,
Frank Grillo, Steve Grillo, Frank Grillo,
Crossbones.
Yeah, Frank Grillo is this guy who is reliving the same day over and over again. He's trying to figure out what the fuck's going on.
Oh, I like these movies,
but it's it's a complete ripoff of this Tom Cruise movie. But Frank Grillo has some of the best lines, and the way he plays his character, I was fucking howling, just laughing because it was just like he's a huge douchebag, and
I can see him
great.
doing that well.
Yeah. So, is it a good movie? No, but I fucking enjoyed it. I mean, there's some fucking funny shit. You should check it out.
Joe Henry commented he watched this film this weekend, Boss Level. He said he would recommend. Highly recommend.
Yeah. I mean, look, everyone that I've talked to that has seen it has enjoyed it to some degree.
I'm going to check it out. I love the time travel day. Do the day over.
Yeah, you'll probably laugh your ass off because it's got a lot of that like asshole humor in it.
Yeah, it's just like Future Man.
It's very asshole.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I like that too.
Yeah.
I also watched Pacific Rim: The Black,
how
which
was
is the new
that?
series
Yeah.
on Netflix. It's CG. It's a CG continuation of the Pacific Rim story. It's about two kids that are stranded when their parents leave. Their parents take off on they're Jaeger pilots, and they take off to like fight the monsters, and they don't come back, and they're just stuck in this like kind of commune. And they happen upon a training Jaeger that has no weapons, and they decide to take it out into the black and try and find their parents. And I enjoyed it a lot. I wish they had almost like 7 episodes.
7.5-hour episodes, yeah.
Yeah, so I wish there was more. I was like, what? I want more. But it was like not groundbreaking or earth shattering, but it was just solid. It wasn't like the Godzilla anime that came out that was just like so fucking boring and it didn't do anything. And it was just like, there's action in it, and there's fucking, there's definitely characters that you could either get attached to or not. So
I have to give this another chance. I tried to watch this in the worst possible situation. Like, it was late at night and I was trying to fall asleep, and then I was like, oh, this is The Black. Let me watch it on my phone in bed in the dark, right? And then the animation started, and it was so intense that like my eyes glazed over. I was like, oh God, I can't watch this right now. I don't know what's happening.
I don't think that had anything to do with the time you were
I don't know
watching
what
it.
was happening. I was like, what are those lights?
I don't think that was the time. I think you had something else going on. Don't put the time on.
I was probably coming down
blame.
on something, but I was like, oh my God, what is all this? This is intense. I don't know what's happening. I can't watch this.
I watched it at night and fell asleep, and then I woke up the next morning and I'm like, I'm gonna fucking watch this. I drank a cup of coffee and I watched it, and then
It may
I was
give
able
you
to get through the
seizures,
whole thing.
listener. Just be careful. That's all I'm saying.
And the last thing that I watched, what was that? No, we talked about
That's it.
everything.
Yeah. Anthony, what do you got?
Well, besides the things that I review for Patreon every week, I did watch the Critics' Choice Awards.
Oh, did you?
The other night. It was on Sunday night. That was interesting. We kind of know now who like the front runners are for like Best Picture, Best Director, Nomadland, all the way.
This is usually traditionally what it ends up. The Oscars nominate the same
It's
way.
just another like decent indicator, but still don't know anything about Best Supporting Actress or Best Actress. They had different winners than the Golden Globes.
I am surprised that you are watching something you gave fucking no shits about very recently.
Oh, yeah.
Shit. Wow.
Yeah, I know. It's
The
very
Critics' Choice Awards, Anthony? What was the other one you watched? The Producers Guild?
And then so then today, Monday, March 8th, they released the Producers Guild Award nominations. And it was pretty interesting. I got really pumped about that.
Okay, do you have spreadsheets comparing all this? Well, how is this shaking out?
I think I might have to.
Oh, fuck.
They released 10 Best Picture nominees, and I wanted to go over them just really quick.
Yeah.
Let me just actually...
The link's in the show notes, by the way.
I see that. I was going to do this off of memory, and I will not.
No, it's right there. I did all the work for you.
So, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. Mank. Minari. Nomadland.
And
One Night in Miami. Promising Young Woman. And then here are the three kind of like... Well, here. Sound of Metal,
Yes.
which is very exciting.
Yeah.
This means it has a good shot. Judas and the Black Messiah, very
Nice.
exciting. And the last one was kind of a shocker. Borat 2 got nominated for Best Picture from the producers.
fucking deserves it. I'm so happy. I hope Maria Bakalova gets some kind of recognition. But
She won the Best Supporting at Critics'
oh, she did
Choice.
get it. She did.
Yeah.
Ma Rainey's Black Bottom surprisingly snubbed at the Globes, right? Didn't even get a thing.
I don't remember.
I thought they didn't. But
no,
these,
they got stuff.
These are 10. Honestly, these are 10 fucking solid movies right here.
Yeah, they always pick I've done some research. Producers Guild always does like a comedy. So they threw in Borat.
Throw in there. Yeah.
Personally, I think Palm Springs is a better comedy than Borat.
Oh, really? You think so?
Yeah. I don't think when we reviewed it, I was like, this isn't a real
But
film.
Borat is like so more relevant and more been zeitgeisty and the things that were happening. And there's a commentary.
Palm Springs was brilliantly written.
Palm Springs is very
Palm Springs
good.
is much, and Borat's just a bunch of skits stitched together.
It kind of is. It's a candid camera show, just extended.
But whatever it is, I was just like, oh, Borat made it here.
That's great. I mean, he's going to get stuff for this and Trial of Chicago 7, of course. Trial of Chicago 7 is that in this list? It is.
Oh, it is. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
This trial is.
So two movies with
So
Borat
the snubs for this list, if anyone's following besides me and Gerald Morris, is Defy Bloods, News of the World, and The Father were like all contenders.
News of the World. Five Bloods, though, that's interesting, but they got Judas in here and Ma Rainey's Black Bottom.
And next week, Oscar nominations are released, and I will give you some reaction. Either on the main show or on Patreon, whatever you want.
This is what we need to do on the show. I think the three of us, we need to print out the fucking thing and make our picks, and then we see who wins at the end by points, who got it closest.
We could do
I have no idea. I didn't watch any of these movies.
Listen, I play fucking fantasy football at work. I don't know. Or like all the stuff that, like horse racing. I don't know. Just fucking give me the box trifecta. I don't give a shit. It doesn't matter. It's just pick a fucking thing. And it all comes down to who got closest and who will get the most points.
What we can do next week, though, is we can talk about a little bit of it, and if you guys have seen any of the movies, because I will have seen all of them except The Father.
Okay, wow. I've seen much, like 70% of them, I think.
See, like, I want to watch Oscar movies, but for some reason, the next movie on my docket is the fucking monster movie, the Monster Slayer movie, Monster Hunter.
With
Mila Jovovich.
I kind of want to see that too. That's not an Oscar winner at all.
I want to watch shit get fucked up. I don't want to watch Oscar movies for some reason, and that's all I used to watch.
Fuck your promising young woman. I got Mila Jovovich over here with a big ass sword.
You've been on a roll with these like B, maybe even C-list action movies.
Yeah, I need it. Like, I feel like that I need some testosterone and some fucking.
There's a joy in these movies.
Shit.
Yeah,
some fucking. I want to see people behaving badly. I want to see people like say fucked up shit. I want to see some. I want to see people with different dicks. Like, I'm talking about Future Man. In Future Man, that show that I'm watching,
Man, they switch dicks. It's the funniest fucking game,
my God.
dude. It's hilarious, and God, you have to watch it.
But like,
so good.
Yeah, like I need that in my life. I don't want to be depressed. I don't want to fucking, I don't know. I don't want to hear about like, people's like horrors. I just want to fucking see people act like assholes and fucking revel in their own stupidity.
That's not these Oscar movies, that's for sure.
Yeah.
These are a little bit downers. They're all very serious.
Like the only one would be Borat I'd watch because that's the guy being an asshole.
What are the odds Borat gets a Best Picture Oscar, Anthony?
Almost like 1%.
Oh man, that would be amazing.
It's not going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen.
No, okay.
I think Maria Bakalova though has a pretty decent shot of getting nominated.
I hope she gets at least a nomination. Like she deserves it. That for her to put herself in that position voluntarily, amazing. All right, I can't wait for the Oscars. That's coming. That's exciting. We got Winter Falcon and Winter Soldier. We got lots of things coming. All good stuff. Say subscribe, listener, so you don't miss a show. Ruggs, where can the listener find you?
You can find me on Twitter at ReallyRugBoy.
At ReallyRugBoy. Links to everything in the show notes. Visit our website. And most importantly, share the show with your geeky friends. Let's get something going. I don't know. Whatever it is, get it going. Give them one of these.
Jock and Nerd.
Text them this episode, listener, and everything will be awesome. Thanks for listening to the Jock and Nerd podcast. My name is Imran.
My name's Anthony.
He's the Jock.
He's a nerd.
We'll peep you next time.
I just can't fathom how Imran keeps all of that energy till the end of the show.
Unreal.
Cocaine.
My balls was hot.
Are you putting it up your butt?
In every hole.
With the cocaine out my ass.
Jock and Nerd.